Oh, hey, just checking out my new FEP sheet I added onto my resin printer. I had a little hole there that I had to repair that was trying to gunk up uh, on a lot of spots and wound up leaving a hole on a lot of my prints. So I was like, yeah, I guess it's time to fix that hole. I had a piece of packing tape that was on there that I was holding for a while, but I guess some of the resin was starting to get into it. So I decided to might as well just replace it, and we made a video about it. So let's dive into it. Okay, so you have a hole in your FEP sheet. Not the end of the world if you're resin printing, but we're going to get through this together in this video. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to clean this up, grab your IPA, and we're going to clean up the FEP sheet over here before we start this whole process. Let's do that now. All right, so now that we got this all cleaned up, so this resin tank is for my Saturn 2 8K, and I went up buying the official Elegoo FEP sheets here, and you can see here it comes in different counts, 1 count or a 5 piece. Did get the 5 piece, as you can see the check mark there, because it's probably going to happen again, and now I got backup. So we're going to flip this over, and as you see, there is a plethora of screws here. So we're going to get our Allen key and start taking all these off, because that's going to be fun. All right, so we're going to speed run through this part of the video because this took an awfully long time, and it's going to take you a long time too. And I just want to take a moment to talk about the corner ones, the little legs. Make sure you get those too, because I was excited when I got them all off, and then I realized these corner legs have to come off too. So make sure you get those too before you get excited. So here you can see the other side of the build plate of the tank. Not build plate, we're not doing FDM, we're doing resin printing. So we're going to pop this off. Hopefully you don't drop it, but it's okay because it's not glass, it's a piece of plastic. Oh look, surprise, surprise, more screws that you have to untake, or unscrew, excuse me. Unscrew on these, and then what we're going to do is, see there's a lot of resin locked in here, and there's a lot of other resin, but I think I'm going to jump ahead and take some of these screws out. But first, I'm going to move this out of here, out of the way, get this out of the way, and put this down. As you can see, there's a lot more resin that's locked in here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put more, another set of gloves on. Not another set, but original set, because then also find an Allen key that fits this, because of course it's a different size. All right, we got speed run part 2. We're going to speed run through this because, again, you thought you had a lot of screws before. You got like 2 times the size, 2 times the amount of screws this time around. When you're unscrewing them, you don't have to really worry about the order, but when we go ahead and put these screws on, we're going to worry about the order and sequence that we put them in. And as we go through all this and get all these off, this did take a lot of time. I just want to point out that once we finish all these, we're going to drop this in some IPA, the screws, clean those screws off, and then we can get these gloves off, and then we can get to the next part of this fun adventure. Now that you got all those ridiculous screws off of this thing, you can go ahead and split this in half or apart, so to say. Split that off, and then you're going to go ahead and take off this FEP sheet. Come on, guys, get your acronyms together to get this FEP sheet off of here, and just throw this out. This is now garbage. And then we're going to go ahead and clean this little bad boy up, and that way we get all the resin off, and that way we can take the gloves off. And as you can see, I just turned into the flash as I just started zooming through this. No, kids, it's called changing speed of the video. But yeah, so we're just going to speed through this. Part of the process, again, you're going to want to get this all cleaned up, so that way then we can go ahead and take the gloves off and don't have to worry about wearing the gloves anymore, because this will all be nice and clean, glove in the video. And then we can easily put all these screws back on without, and then we're going to take the screws, throw them into a container of IPA, wash them off, and then rinse them off, and then we can start getting into putting all this back together. Now that you got everything cleaned up and your gloves off, and you can get back to work over here, you'll grab your FEP sheet. And just to note, there is a protective sheet here on both sides. So you just grab the corner somewhere and peel this apart. This comes off pretty quickly. You want to go ahead and separate all of this, and your FEP sheet is in the middle. You're going to take this apart and just discard that. Go ahead and take off the other side, and we're going to get rid of that. and then go ahead and take apart your metal braces here, and then just lay the FEP sheet over the holes over here. Make sure you get to the edge. Over here, mine is just makes it on the sides, so you just want to line it up so that way your screws come in contact. You have a little excess on the top and bottom, or whatever sides you have. We'll go ahead and clean that up later on with a sharp blade. Just lay this over, make sure it's lined up, and you don't want to pull the sheet anyway, because once we get everything screwed back and once we put it onto the main part of the tank, it's going to have to stretch. Now you get some sharp object. I have a pair of tweezers here, a pair of metal tweezers, and just punch a hole in the screw sections, pretty much every hole here. And my camera gets very upset apparently about tweezers, so it's going to start unfocusing a little bit here. So basically, I'm punching a hole. I can go back with my Allen key later on to punch some of the bigger screws, the holes a little wider, because it does get a little tight here. So just go ahead and punch all the holes, otherwise you're not going to be able to get screws in here. Then you're going to go ahead and we're going to worry about getting all the screws in here at a crisscross section here. It's really important how you go and put them in, so that way when you're putting them in, you're having equal distributed tension on the frame here on the FEP sheet. So going crisscross, applesauce, all the way around until you get all the screws in here. Because once you've got all the screws in here, this is going to have to go onto the main tank, and then you're going to be putting a little pressure on here to press it into the tank here. So you're going to see that metal ring there, and that's going to go in a lot of pressure, and you're going to get all the rest of the tension on your FEP sheet is what you need. Okay, so from here, let's get all the screws in here. Now you've gone ahead and got all these screws in. We're going to have a little bit of excess on here, as you see right up here. This is already gone, but on this side over here, this side here, if I was on cue in my video here, that'd be great. But yeah, we're gonna head and clean up this rest of the plastic. I got my little box cutter, and we're going to go ahead and strip the plastic off of this and get that all the edge cleaned up, so that way when it sits into the main tank, it's going to sit nice and flush. As you see here, right here, yep, there, it's not really tight. I got some of the sound off. You can't really hear it right now because in the original audio, I have a lot of background sound from my other printers going. But trust me, we're going to bring in the main tank here, as you see here. And we're going to flip this over into the right section where the screws go. And you're going to push in. When you put the film in over here, you're going to see it's going to be kind of tight. But as we put the screws in, it's going to go and dig into the plastic, and that's what's going to cause the tension on the film and have this nice taut film. All right, so here we got my hands in the shot. I'm going to put this over here, and we're going to get these screws in here. So when you go ahead and put the screws in, it's really important that you do the corners. You get the feet here, you put the feet, and that's going to push a lot of the pressure down. And now, but some of these holes are a little bigger, so if you get that hole not big enough, I went ahead and got my Allen key that I mentioned a little bit earlier. Get the Allen key and make those holes bigger, so that way you can get all these screws nice in here and not have that much trouble while putting these screws in. So here we are. This is the end of it. This is coming to the end of our video here. And as you see, I have it nice in here. And your FEP sheet's going to be really pushed in here. As you see, it's pressed down under the slip here. And I'm going to hear some original audio on this thing there. There's a little tap. It sounds like a drum now, right? And now back to a little post-editing video, because post-editing sound, because there was too many things going on in the background when I recorded this. So that's okay. That's what post-production is for, guys, right? So once you finish that, go ahead and do a little tippity tap there again. And then we're going to go ahead and get some more alcohol, clean up any fingerprints, get all this cleaned up, and then get this back on your printer. And that's how we fix our FEP sheet. So get this back on your printer and start printing again. Till next time, guys, keep making nerdy. I'll see you next time.